Is Stormscale Scion good enough for Legacy Belcher? That's the question, and that's what we're going to find out today. Let's go check it out. Mono-Red Belcher and Legacy. You might have caught my modern video where I went 5-0 undefeated with this strategy. You can find that video in the card above featuring Stormscale Scion plus Goblin Charbelcher. We're porting that over to Legacy to see how it does today. And I'm going to be forthright with you. I did try to record a league prior to this one, but I was playing Land Grant and Taiga, and honestly, I just hated it. And rather than upload a video where I hate the deck list, I figured I'd just re-record something that I actually don't despise. So that's what we're doing here today. No Land Grant, no Taiga, no Veil of Summer. Instead, we're playing a deck where all of our lands always convert. So we're playing 5 lands, 4 copies of Skull Smashing, and 1 Sundering Eruption. This means that when we activate Goblin Charbelcher, it's always lethal. No matter what, you can't hit the Taiga. It's just going to, dead the opponent. That's the idea. And then we have Stormscale Scion to complement it. So you could use Rite of Flame and Seething Song to accelerate into this powerful 6-mana dragon and make a horde of flying dragons. So now you have 2 powerful payoffs, but the deck still has the broken synergy of Gamble plus Echo of Aeons to draw new hands, create value with permanence, and create mana. So that's the real thing. I feel like Storm decks that don't have Echo of Aeons in them are just putting themselves in a tier below, because without Echo of Aeons, I think the overall power level of what you're doing is so much lower, and Echo of Aeons just raises the floor on everything you do. So I'm excited to be playing this deck today featuring Echo of Aeons, Lion's Eye Diamond, and Gamble alongside the modern cards like Stormscale Scion and Goblin Charbelcher. So that's the idea with the main deck. In the sideboard, we have Leyline of Anticipation. If you think your opponent's playing a deck that's faster than you, guess what? You can board in the Leyline of Anticipation and win on turn 0. That's pretty sweet. You also have Leyline of the Void for decks like Oops All Spells, and then your Burning Wish targets. One thing that I like today is that we're playing Mind's Desire over Peer into the Abyss. If you caught my last video, which was back when Vexing Bobble was legal, that's how long ago I recorded Red Belcher in Legacy, I played Peer into the Abyss. Well, when you have Stormscale Scion, Echo of Aeons, Goblin Charbelcher, and Burning Wish, there's a lot of payoffs for the Mind's Desire, and I think it makes a lot more sense. So it costs 1 less mana, and you get to do sweet things. So we're going to play that today. That's my deck tech. Hopefully you enjoy it. Like, comment, subscribe. And speaking of subscribing, less than 50% of my monthly audience is subscribed. We did hit my 20,000 subscriber goal. Thank you to everyone that is subscribed. But I'd still like to see more of you subscribe, so support the channel, hit that subscribe button, and I would greatly appreciate that. But now, without any further ado, let's go belch some people. I'll see you in match number 1. Don't go anywhere. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. You can also show your support by becoming a member of this channel. You get sweet perks such as badges, emotes, early access to videos, exclusive members-only content, and access to our members Discord section. As you increase the tiers, there are other rewards such as shop discounts, sideboard guides, and even free donation decks. Click the join button down below to find out more. We also have other ways you can support us, like theepicstorm.com/shop or submitting a donation deck via theepicstorm.com/donation decks. That's enough for now. Let's play some Magic. Welcome to match number 1. We're on the draw. I've opened up a powerful hand. We will keep this. I have the ability to play turn 1 Burning Wish and then Echo of Aeons if they're a blue deck, and it looks like they might be here. Okay, we draw a Lotus Petal. I'll play my land untapped. Ouch. Lotus Petal. Lotus Petal. Lion's Eye Diamond. And now we're going to try a Seething Song. A Force of Will exiling Brainstorm. We'll exile the Elvish Spirit Guide, and let's spin the wheel on Echo of Aeons. Storm is 6, 1 mana floating. That resolved. Play Lotus Petal. Rite of Flame. Play another Rite of Flame. Let's try Defense Grid. Storm is 10. Another Force of Will, exiling Force of Will. We'll play Gamble. Select the Lion's Eye Diamond. We win that one. I would have preferred to keep the Chrome Mox for Metalcraft purposes, but I'll take it. And then we'll add 3 blue. Let's spin the Echo again. Storm 14. So I can Echo one more time here. We'll exile the Spirit Guide. Let's try Seething Song. That time it resolved. We'll play Diamond. Play Chrome Mox. Imprint Elvish Spirit Guide. Play Mox Opal. Play Gamble. We'll grab Echo. Tap for blue. We'll make red. Flashback the Echo Storm 20. 5 mana floating. Okay, we found the Stormscale Scion. We'll play Rite of Flame. And we have enough mana here to play Defense Grid. And now they're going to fetch in response. I wonder if this many dragons will break Magic Online. They grab a Tundra. And now they're going to Brainstorm in response. We haven't seen what they're playing yet. Like, this could be any blue deck. Defense Grid on the stack. Another Force of Will, exiling Tameo Inquisitive Student. We'll play Lotus Petal. Play another Lotus Petal. Exile Elvish Spirit Guide. Stormscale Scion Storm 27. Let's go. And the opponent concedes. Alright. That's good honest magic. No sideboarding for me. We're just going to hit resubmit. That was sweet. Game number 2. I've opened up a reasonable hand. We'll try this. Polluted Delta. Okay. Shatterskull Smashing. I like drawing the land there. That was good. We'll play the land for turn. Play Chrome Mox. So the question is, am I imprinting the Seething Song? And I think the answer is yes. And then I'll try the Defense Grid. That resolved. So assuming nothing bad happens, I can play Goblin Charbelcher next turn. They search out Underground Sea. That's interesting. They looked like they tried to play a spell there and couldn't. They're now fetching with the Flooded Strand for a Savannah. Witherbloom Command. Force of Negation, Extirpate, and a fetch land. So they're on Beanstalk control. I actually needed the Defense Grid for the Metalcraft for the Opal. So now I can't play Goblin Charbelcher. I just have to pass the turn. Now they have a Flooded Strand for a Tundra. Murktide Regent. Yep. They have 5 in hand at the moment. I just needed mana here. I think that was a good window for me to resolve Goblin Charbelcher because they didn't have any blue mana open for Consigned to Memory. And now I feel like I missed my window here. So I'll take 6 down to 11. They have 5 cards in hand. Play Lion's Eye Diamond. See if it resolves. Force of Will, the Lion's Eye Diamond. That hurts. Okay. And now they attack. I'd have to draw exactly a Lion's Eye Diamond again to win. They have Thoughtseize. Brutal. I guess they'd have to know that taking Opal is right here. And I'd have to draw a Lion's Eye Diamond, so we'll see. And they did figure out that Opal was correct. Okay, well I died. Next one. No changes, let's just resubmit. So that game was a good example of why Land Grant was bad for me. Because there was games where I would draw multiple land grants where I'm like, oh, I really wish I had another land that I could go get or something like that. But you don't want to play a bunch of lands in your Goblin Charbelcher deck. So those sort of things are why I really started to value MDFCs. I think we keep this. It's a turn 1 Defense Grid, but then I have to draw mana for Goblin Charbelcher. We'll play Chrome Mox, Imprint Seething Song, Defense Grid. They have Force of Negation. Okay. Polluted Delta. They search out Underground Sea. Thoughtseize. Yeah, I mean, I guess we got to have our fun in game 1, but now things aren't looking so hot. I'll pass. So I could play out the Lion's Eye Diamond. I think that the Lion's Eye Diamond is more likely to be destroyed here than discarded, so I'm choosing to not play it out. The nice thing about drawing the Diamond is now I could draw into Gamble or an Echo of Aeons, and we're back into this game. They search out a tropical island, burn up the Beanstalk. Okay. Come on, deck. Pretty please, pretty please. Boom! Lotus Petal. Chrome Mox. Play Lion's Eye Diamond. Gamble. Search out Echo of Aeons. And we'll flash it back. Storm 5. Okay, so I think this is a Stormscale Scion. We'll play Lotus Petal. Play Chrome Mox. Imprint the Stormscale. We'll play Mox Opal. Seething Song. Stormscale Scion. Boom! Wow. Yeah. And we got the match. Nice. Our opponent had a lot of interaction, and we just got a little bit lucky. That's all we needed. So we got the first match. That's sweet. We're now 1-0 in this Legacy League. Moxfield.com is the easiest way to build a Magic deck online. They support over 30 formats, including Legacy and many other Eternal formats. There are so many options to view decks the way that you want, from text view to individual cards, mana value, and even card price. There's also light mode and dark mode. My personal favorite feature is card tags. This way you can sort cards by function. Moxfield supports collection tracking, Scryfall search, decklist feedback, and so much more. Follow me on Moxfield.com so you can stay updated on all of my decks. Round number 2, when we're facing Michael Reed, we have turn 1 Echo. I think we're supposed to just take it. Michael tends to play a lot of Force of Will decks, so I'm not loving our odds here, but we'll see what we can make happen. Misty Rainforest for an Underground Sea. Thoughtseize. I think we're about to lose our land. We'll find out. Takes Lion's Eye Diamond instead. Okay. Another Seething Song. We'll play our land. Ouch. Play Gamble. Lion's Eye Diamond. Pass the turn. So I could play the Diamond right now, but I'd be playing it into days. I'm not sure if that's a good idea. Plays Island. We drew Echo. Play the Diamond. Let's attempt to spin. This plays through days. Let's see if Michael has an Orcish Bowmasters. Brainstorm in response. Echo on the stack. It resolves! Let's go. Okay. So, if there's no Force of Will, this is a win, I believe. We can go Rite of Flame, Seething Song. Yeah, this is a win. Play the Rite of Flame. Cast Seething Song. And another Brainstorm. So we need no Force of Will and no Daze. Seething Song on the stack. And now we'll play Goblin Charbelcher. Storm 8. It resolved. Mox Opal. Days will pay for the days. So this delays me winning by a turn. I have to pass the turn now. Scalding Turn for the land for the turn. So not a wasteland. Main phase Brainstorm. And a concession. Nice. Okay. We don't really have sideboard cards for blue. So I think we just resubmit. You might be saying, like, well, you could play, like, Veil of Summer. Yeah, but you only have 4 Petal, 4 Opal, 4 Spirit Guide. I did that 2 weeks ago in the Golgari Belcher deck, and I hated it. It just wasn't enough color sources. So I don't think that's actually a good choice. And that's why earlier I was trying to play Land Grant. Because Land Grant for Taiga does give you Veil of Summer, but then you can't play multiple lands ever in a game. So I thought that was kind of stinky. So I think just playing Defense Grid is probably better. Pyroblast doesn't work because it doesn't protect Lion's Eye Diamond plus Echo of Aeons. You could play Overmaster, but I don't think that's particularly powerful. So I think what we have today is probably just the best you're going to get. This seems fine to me. Turn 1 Underground Sea and Thoughtseize. Takes the Goblin Charbelcher. Burning Wish. I think I'm going to play my land tapped and pass. I thought about just passing and then next turn passing again and hoping to just discard the Echo. But I don't know if that's a winning strategy. And drawing a payoff spell like Burning Wish does change the equation. If I just drew a piece of mana, I would have just passed the turn without playing a land. 4 cards in hand. Elvish Spirit Guide will play Shatter Skull Smashing. Pass the turn. End step Brainstorm. Polluted Delta. For an Undercity Sewers. Kept the card on top. Plays land number 3. Entomb. So it's Dimir Reanimator. Okay. Grabs Gristlebrand. I'm not winning this now. Yeah. Draw 7. Plays a Lotus Petal. And another one. And another one. Okay. The odds we win this are incredibly low. So I could go up to 3 mana. It's just not enough. Alright, we'll concede. So the question is, do I want Leyline against Dimir Reanimator, the controlling build? And what would I be taking out? Mox Opal? Because it's not always a reliable mana source? I'm down to try it, I guess. Submit this. On the play for game 3. Sure. Keep Leyline of the Void. Play our land. So I could imprint the Gamble and play turn 1 Belcher. We'll do that. This allows me to try to get underneath a Consign to Memory, but a Force of Will obviously feel bad. And it is a Force of Will. Or exiles Thassa's Oracle, so Michael boarded back into Doomsday. So this is a deck that Michael has shown me where in game 1 you're Doomsday, game 2 you board into Reanimator, so then game 3 Michael boarded back into Doomsday. Personal tutor, yep. So I'm in a group chat with Michael, and then in my opinion the best Doomsday player is Wonder Pro. And Wonder Pro has pointed out, I mean, I'm not trying to make fun of Michael's deck here, but Wonder Pro has pointed out that the sideboard jukes for both decks lose to the same thing sometimes. Obviously, Doomsday doesn't lose to Graveyard Hate, but like other things they lose to similarly. So it's not always the best juke, but it is good against Leyline of the Void. And that's what Michael is beating here. That said, I don't know how different this game would be if this Leyline of the Void was a Mox Opal anyway. So I think we just lose no matter what. Okay, we'll draw. Spirit Guide isn't good enough to do anything. We'll pass. I mean, there wasn't a draw I had in the deck that I believe won. So, is this just a standard brainstorm pile? It looks like it. Lion's Eye Diamond. Cycle's Edge of Autumn. Plays Consider. This is going to clear the card that's above. And then Thassa's Oracle. Yep. And that's the match. So now we are 1-1 in this Legacy League. Looking to make playing your favorite combo deck much easier? Look no further than the Epic Storm Mini Token Combo Pack, which is available at theepicstorm.com/shop for $14.99. This combo token pack comes with 84 double-sided tokens. That includes our classic Storm and mana tokens, as well as fan favorites such as Goblins, Squirrels, and Slime Time Live. But that's not all. We've expanded this token pack to cover a variety of formats with new tokens. Stop on by theepicstorm.com/shop and make an easy decision to elevate your combo game. For round number 3, we're on the play. So this is a turn 1 Echo with some mana floating. We'll try it. I don't know what our opponent's playing, but this is what our deck does, so we're going to try to make it happen. Exile Simian Spirit Guide, play Rite of Flame, Lion's Eye Diamond. They look like they're F6 tier. We'll spin the Echo. I could try to gamble, but my luck so far hasn't been very good. And this is a turn 1 Stormscale Scion. Play the Lotus Petal. Exile the Simian Spirit Guide, Stormscale Scion. Alright, no turn 1 Tabernacle, please. Pass the turn. Our opponent paused for a little bit and then just conceded. So we took game number 1. I have no idea what they're playing today. I think I'm going to just submit the same deck. This comes up a lot in my videos where people ask like, oh, how do you board if you win game 1, turn 1? Well, isn't your main deck already set up for that? So why wouldn't you just resubmit your same configuration? You haven't gained, any knowledge on what your opponent's playing, and your main deck is already set up to beat the widest number of decks. So boarding in Leyline of the Void or Leyline of Anticipation or Echoing Truth or some other card doesn't make a lot of sense. So I believe you're supposed to run it back. If you happen to lose game 2, then you can make adjustments for game 3. Okay, so this hand is 1 mana short of a turn 1 Goblin Charbelcher. We'll try this. Leyline of the Void, okay. So we can play Belcher on turn 1, but I can't activate it. That's what I meant. So if I draw a 0 mana artifact, we should be able to play and activate Belcher. They play a Mountain. Okay. Another Belcher. Play out the Opal. Pass the turn. So I need another mana. City of Traders. Oh, okay. So you're a Trinisphere player. Don't love that. Pass the turn. So I guess maybe I was supposed to jam the turn 1 Belcher. Is this a mono-red sneak attack? It looks like it. Pearl Mox. This is what I needed 2 turns ago. We'll move to discard. Okay, so they hit an Atraxa. I've seen enough. We can go to the next one. So now we know what they're playing. I don't need the defense grid, but I also don't think that any of my sideboard cards are good. So I'd rather have the defense grid in the deck for 2 reasons. 1, it beats things like Mindbreak Trap. Okay? And 2, I'm a Mox Opal deck. So theoretically, it could enable Metalcraft. And I think that that's just better than anything Leyline or Leyline of the Void could provide. Game 3 on the play. So this is a turn 1 Goblin Charbelcher. We'll keep. It doesn't activate it, but I'm 1 mana short of activating it in the future. And they put Leyline of the Void onto the table. So I'll play my land untapped. Ouch. Play the Chrome Mox. We'll imprint Burning Wish. Exile Elvish Spirit Guide. Play Seething Song. And Goblin Charbelcher. Pass the turn. They play Ancient Tomb. We drew another Belcher. Needed any mana there. They play a Mountain. Fable of the Mirror. So I do get another opportunity here to draw +1 mana. And that does it. So it looks like we're going to win match number 3. Target you. Boom. That's the sound Goblin Charbelcher makes. Boom, boom. Alright, so we are now 2-1. 2 matches left to go. If you're still watching, make sure to give this video a like, comment, and subscribe. While you're near the description, here's a reminder to use our affiliate links if you're going to make a purchase from Amazon, Card Hoarder, or TCG Player. Just above those affiliate links, you'll find our social channels. Make sure to join those to connect with us. For round number 4, we've opened up a very good hand. I don't know what our opponent's playing, but I'm keeping this. Underground Sea. It couldn't just be like basic forest just one time. Alright, so we'll see what I can make happen here. We'll play the Shatterskull Smashing untapped. Play Lotus Petal. Let's try Lion's Eye Diamond. Rite of Flame. Spell Pierce. So I don't think paying for this matters. We'll just pass the turn. And then next turn I can just play Seething Song into Goblin Charbelcher. Main deck Spell Pierce is odd though. That's not a thing you see too often. And now they play Ponder. They did not shuffle. Inquisition of Kozilek. What are you playing? This is so odd. They take the Elvish Spirit Guide. Okay. We'll pass the turn. Another Rite of Flame would be my best draw. They play Brainstorm, Polluted Delta, and a Tameo Inquisitive Student. Exile the Spirit Guide and will attempt a Seething Song. They fetch in response for an Undercity Sewers. So they're going to daze me and then return their sewers. Gets rid of Entomb. So your Dimir Reanimator with Inquisition of Kozilek and Spell Pierce. It's so odd. I think I'm just going to go all in on the Echo. If they have Force of Will plus blue card, you earned it. I will pay for the daze. Our opponent is very deliberate, I guess I'll say. This match just started. I mean, we're on turn 3. They're at 21 minutes, and they haven't played that many spells. So, waiting to see what happens here. Flashback the Echo floating 4. So your last 3 cards in hand were Forcible blue card daze? That's disgusting. I'm just going to concede. So they opened up on Tomb. I'm sorry, they opened up on Spell Pierce, Inquisition, Daze, Forcible blue card. Yikes. I will bring in Leyline of the Void. We'll get rid of Mox Opal on the play for game 2. So this hand is a force check hand. We do have Leyline of the Void, though. I suppose we'll keep. Put the Leyline into play. Play Lotus Petal. Rite of Flame. We'll play another Rite of Flame. And this time they Force of Will. I'm going to play out the Chrome Mox, so that way, this way, if they play a turn 1 Thoughtseize, they will discard my Echo. Alright, so we got them to Force of Will a Rite of Flame. I think that's because we showed them the Stormscale Scion in game 1. Okay, we have to pass. They search out Undercity Sewers. They play Verdant Catacombs and pass the turn. Lion's Eye Diamond. I'll attempt to play it. That resolved. I'm going to just pass the turn here. We saw Spell Pierce in game 1. I don't want to get my Echo Spell Pierced. Also, if we draw another land, I could play the Defense Grid. Or more mana. I shouldn't rely on drawing one of my 5 lands, but just the thought of playing Defense Grid I like. They play a Wasteland, 4 cards in their hand. Petty Theft my Chrome Mox, sure. We draw Stormscale Scion. I'll pass the turn. Still just 1 mana away. They draw and pass. We draw another Defense Grid. I'll pass the turn back. And now they can play the Brazen Borrower. They swing, ouch, and Brainstorm. They play Polluted Delta, 4 cards in their hand. We draw a land, but I only get to use it once due to the Wasteland in play. Play Chrome Mox. Imprint the Stormscale Scion, and we'll play Defense Grid. Consign to memory. Okay, pass the turn. They use Polluted Delta. They grab an Underground Sea. Orcish Bowmasters. Yeah, I mean, when I'm sitting with an Echo in my hand, that's very good for them. Now they have 5 damage coming in, so if I don't Echo on this next turn, I never get to Echo, so now I have to play it. We'll exile the Elvish Spirit Guide. Let's try Defense Grid. They have Force of Negation. So it's now or never. We'll spin the Echo. And they have Force of Will blue card as their final 2 cards in hand. Sometimes that's how Magic goes. We're now 2-2. The best Legacy podcast? That would be Eternal Glory featuring myself, Bryant Cook, alongside Brian Koval and Phil Gallagher. We're available on all major podcast platforms and YouTube. The final round, we're on the draw. I'm going to keep this. I do not know what our opponent's playing, but we're 1 mana away from turn 1 Goblin Charbelcher plus activate under City Sewers, so another Dimir deck. There's been enough of them this league. Okay. Gamble. So now this hand just became a turn 1 Echo hand. Lion's Eye Diamond. Lion's Eye Diamond. Play the Mox Opal. Play Rite of Flame. Gamble. And I think it just has to be Echo of Aeons. We'll add 3 blue. You know what? I think we lose this to a Force of Will anyway. I'm just going to sacrifice both lines. Like, I don't think, like, if we get forced here, it's going to hurt. But I'm more likely to be successful if we just have 4 mana floating rather than 1. So that's my thought process here. We'll play the Seething Song from 8. So if I play Belcher and it gets forced, Burning Wish into Relay, do I have enough mana for that? 8, 9? Yeah, I would have enough mana for that. So let's play the Belcher. And it resolves, so this is a turn 1. Now we just have to get a post-board game. Okay. Just resubmit. If you're someone that follows the metagame, it's funny. The first 2 or 3 weeks after the banning, Dimir Reanimator was nowhere to be found. And then the last 3 weeks, 4 weeks, it's sort of had a big resurgence. So Dimir Reanimator's back. Like right now it's like the 5th or 6th most popular deck according to MTG Goldfish. I'm not sure if the ban of Troll of Khazad-dûm was right. We'll know with more time. But all I'm saying is that right now, Dimir Reanimator just like keeps on going up and up and up in the metagame. I don't even know if our opponent's playing Dimir Reanimator. They could be Dimir Tempo. They could be Bug Beanstalk. It could be a lot of different things. So I'm not going to board in the Leyline of the Void right now. Game number 2. Yeah, this hand could be a turn 1 Stormscale Scion. I would have to draw an imprintable. Keep Bloodstained Mire for an Underground Sea. Thoughtseize. Oh, killing me, Smalls. Yep. Goodbye to our dragon. We would have drawn the mana too. Past the turn. Now they play Ponder. They shuffled on the Ponder and missed their second land. I think I'll play out the Lion's Eye Diamond. It's just too valuable to be discarded. We will pass the turn. Under City Sewers. Cameo Inquisitive Student. That's a Goblin Charbelcher. Play Rite of Flame. We'll play Rite of Flame. Come on, play Force of Will. Please. Do it. They let it go. I will play Chrome Mox. I mean, they clearly have a counterspell here, but I'm trying to get them to counterspell something they shouldn't. And they're going to Force of Will a Chrome Mox. I love it. Goblin Charbelcher. And they had double force. Devastating. Okay, pass the turn. Thoughtseize plus double Force of Will. My. Okay, so this is the point of the game where they start to claw back using the clue tokens. So we have a short window to draw into like an Echo of Aeons here. Another Thoughtseize. Gets rid of the Mox Opal. And now they brainstorm to flip their Tameo. So next turn they could get back a Force of Will. Okay. We ripped Echo. Wow. Let's party. Spin that wheel, baby. Spin it. 3 mana available. They're paused here. Like, you either have Daze or Surgical. Like, just play your card. Let's go. Chop, chop. I will pay for Daze. 2 mana available. Interesting. Play the Chrome Mox. That resolves. Now I'll play Defense Grid. The Force of Will. Sure. Play Lion's Eye Diamond. Play Mox Opal. And we'll gamble for another Echo of Aeons. Flashback the Echo. Storm is 9. Oh, I didn't hit any payoffs. That's a bummer. I'll play my land and pass the turn. They play Underground Sea and a Null Rod. That hurts. So now I have to draw into Stormscale Scion. course, Echo was our top card. Brutal. Pass the turn. Sure, play Thoughtseize. I suppose I could try to win. No, I can't win with Empty the Warrens. There's a Tamiyo in play. What was I thinking? They take Lion's Eye Diamond with a Null Rod in play. Sure. Here's a Nethergoyf. They plus the Tamiyo. Alright, they're going to Ultimate Tamiyo next turn, so I'm going to concede. This league did not go all that well. We went 2 and 3. Wait, no, there's another game. I forgot that I won game 1. My bad. Alright, so we get one more chance. Alright, so I can still finish this with a positive record. We saw Force of Will. We saw triple force that game. Granted, there was an Echo. 3 copies of Thoughtseize, a Null Rod. A lot of interaction. Some dazes. Game 3, we're on the play. This is turn 1 Stormscale Scion, but I lose to a Force of Will. I think we keep. Our opponent has kept. Play Lotus Petal. Rite of Flame. Exile the Spirit Guide. Play Seething Song. Looks like they're F6'd. Here's a bunch of dragons. Alright, lethal on board. We got the match win. Alright, so we finished this with a positive record. All it took was the power of dragons. What did I think of the deck? It's okay. I don't think that this deck is anything special, but it's certainly fun. If you're looking for something fun to play for a league or an FNM, this deck is not a bad call. I do think it doesn't have enough protection versus blue decks, which is the issue that I actually described 2 weeks ago with the other Belcher deck that I played. So here we had 4 defense grid. I think the last deck had like 4 Thoughtseize. Basically, these decks need 8 somehow, but also to fit in all of the mana and tools that you need. So it's a deck building problem. I don't know how you fix that, but that's my overall feedback is the deck is super mana hungry, but it also needs more protection. So I don't really know how you solve that. That's my biggest concern with these Belcher decks. But that's all I've got for today. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. I hope you have a wonderful day, and as always, keep storming. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to support the channel. After you do that, open up our description where you can find all of our social media networks, including our Discord, where you can discuss today's deck in that Discord with me and tons of other combo masterminds. It's absolutely free to join, and it's certainly worth your while.